Hi, my name is Sana Kim, and today I'm gonna give a persuasive speech about the talent. Do you notice these people? Um, the person in the left is Tiger Woods, who is a very famous golf player, and person in the right is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who is also a very famous musician. Something common in those people share is that they are thought to be a genius. Then what is a genius? Genius is a people who are thought to have much more special talent than others. Then what is a talent? Talent is what we are born with, and it differs by people in its amount and its field. According to one survey from UNESCO, more than 50 people said talent is the biggest factor that can be led to success. Only 20% answered that it might be a possible factor, and none of people answered that it's not a factor at all. As you can see, it seems that people believe talent is the biggest or one of the biggest factor that decides whether people can success or not. However, what I'm going to talk about today is an opposite and refuting idea about those wisdom. I would like to say that talent is overrated and success doesn't depend hugely on abilities we are born with. Therefore, success can be earned by our own efforts. So this will be my presentation's flow. First, I'll talk about something called the deliberate practice, and then I'll talk about a mindset. And for conclusion, I would like to sum up these and give an implication that it has on us. So, first of all, scientists have worked so hard to look at the key factor of success. They thought it might be a talent or an experience or a social status, but they found that those three were not all crucial to be successful. One example, the talent would be like this. If talent is a crucial factor in success, people's first level of performance when they first all start something, it should be different. But actually, the first level or performance of when people start something weren't that different, and they were all similar. It the performance got differed by the time flows. So it doesn't mean that there's a difference between what we've got born with. There's a difference between what we've done through. So what was more explainable was the accumulated time of practice. As you can see in the graph, the performance level was higher for the people who had huge amount of accumulated hours of practicing alone. So, is it enough for just doing it a lot or for a long time? No, of course not, and it shouldn't be just a practice. It's called a delivered practice, and it has some characteristics to make you more successful. The definition for deliberate practice is the act of rehearsing a behavior over and over, or engaging in an activity again and again in designed form for the purpose of improving or mastering it. So this is an example of deliberate practice, which is a schedule of Yana Kim, the best figure skater, and you can see that it is very well designed, strictly designed, and it has a purpose of improving her skills. There are typically 5 characteristics. As you see, the first one is difficult and the second one is feedback. So it should be difficult enough and it should have feedbacks to make you improve. Also, it's very important to have repetition inside your schedule, and concentration is also an important characteristic of deliberate practice. Something fun here is that it should be a practice alone, which means you have to concentrate on yourself. It's also important to give feedbacks for yourself than to have other people, because it might be helpful but it's more discouraging. Also, mindset can affect your success too. There's two kind of implicit theories of intelligence that each individual holds. One is the incremental theory. Um, People who held incremental theory believes that characteristics or traits of individuals can change by time. So characteristics, whether you're outgoing or not, or your intelligence and all those traits that explain you, can change during the time flows or if you put enough effort into it. On the other hand, there's people who believe the entity theory, and in this view, people think you're a one entity, and it's hard for you to change yourself in every part. So they believe that all traits are kind of stable even though time flows. But as you can see, belief in this in your intelligence has a huge impact on your performance. Scientists still don't know which one is true, but whether it's true or not, what people believe affected their performance. As you can see in the graph, people who believed incremental theory showed an improvement in their performance as time flows. However, people who believed entity theory showed a stable performance even though the time flows. So it shows that whether it's true or not, thing goes as you believe. Also, there are some implicit theories about willpower. One is limited resource theory, and the other one is the non-limited resource theory. Limited resource theory believes that we have a limited amount of willpower. So if we engage in some mental activity for a certain amount of time, we get exhausted and then we need a time to recover. If don't, the performance will get much lower because you're exhausted. On the other hand, people who believe non-limited resource theory believes that there's no limit in our willpower. So even though it might be challenging, if we keep doing it, it goes better and better. And also, a study shows that people who held a non-limited resource theory did much better in challenging situations. So this also shows that things goes as we believe. So there are lots of factors that can influence your performance or success. The skill or ability itself can be one, and your mindset or your thought about willpower can also influence your performance. The interesting thing here is that all those three can change by your effort. Of course, talent might be one of those factors that can affect success, but still, recent studies show that those three are much more explainable factors of success. So, what this implicates for us is that if there's something you really wanted but you thought you don't have enough talent, instead of making hasty decisions that you're not fit into it, just try and do a deliberate practice, and someday it might pay back to you as a success. Thank you.